Very good afternoon. You're watching Lunchtime News on TV1. On behalf of the entire Newsfirst team, I would like to wish you a very, very happy Sinhala and Tamil New Year. May this Sinhala and Tamil New Year be an year of peace and prosperity, love and laughter, wealth and wisdom, and most importantly, given the prevailing situation of the country, an year of good health and well-being. I'm Tarusha Kumar Singha. Let's take a look at your headlines this afternoon. Two more villages in Beruala isolated. Scientists have reported the first case of the coronavirus spreading from a dead body. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India will extend coronavirus lockdown until 3rd of May. On to your top story this afternoon, the Army commander noted Panila and Chinese fort areas in Beruala have been declared as isolated areas.
Acting Chief of Defence Staff and Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva said that this decision was taken after 7 people in the area tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday.
Behind me is the Matugama entry road to the Panila and Chinese fort villages. The police and the armed forces have set up roadblocks preventing the entry or exit of anyone from these villages. The Panila and Chinese fort villages were declared as isolated areas at 6 this morning. Thereby, no one can enter or leave these villages. The reason for this decision was the detection of 7 COVID-19 patients from the area. As of now, 14 people have tested positive for the virus from Beruala. We declared these villages as isolated areas to prevent the spread of the virus to adjacent villages. We have also lifted the isolation regulations that were imposed in the Atalugama village.
Taking a look at today's COVID-19 situation, another person has tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. This brings the total tally of confirmed COVID-19 patients in the country to 218. 155 patients are currently receiving treatment in hospitals, while 56 patients were discharged after making a full recovery. As morgues across countries become overwhelmed, funeral and medical workers have become fearful of dead bodies potentially carrying COVID-19. Scientists have now confirmed the first spread of the disease from a dead body.
A study by the Journal of Forensic and Legal Medicine said a medical examiner in Thailand picked up the deadly virus from an infected body in March. The study, published on Sunday, claims it is the first report on, quote, COVID-19 infection and death among medical personnel in a forensic medicine unit, unquote. Von Sri Vijayalai of the RVT Medical Center in Bangkok and Viroj Vivanitkit of Hainan Medical University in China, the authors of the study, said forensic medicine professionals have a low chance of coming into contact with infected patients, but there is a chance they can come into contact with biological samples and corpses. The authors wrote, quote, at present there is no data on the exact number of COVID-19 contaminated corpses since it is not a routine practice to examine for COVID-19 in dead bodies, unquote. The authors further added, quote, nevertheless, infection control and universal precautions are necessary. Forensic professionals have to wear protective devices, including a protective suit, gloves, goggles, cap and mask. The disinfection procedure used in operation rooms might be applied in pathology forensic units too, unquote.
A staffer at the Kolonnava oil storage terminal died after falling into an oil tank when he attempted to inspect the volume of the tank. According to the police, the deceased passed away after being admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. The deceased was a 54-year-old resident of Delgoda. Minister of Power and Energy Mahinda Amaravira said that he had ordered the chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to launch an investigation into the incident. In more news from here at home, the brick industry has fallen into crisis. Those in the industry have been impacted as they cannot sell the bricks that they have already cut. This is a report that was filed on the drowning brick industry in the Eastern Province.
These people in Ampara Galloya have been in the brick industry for many long years. They work in the area surrounding this 3.5 stretch. This is the site of the largest brick industry in the eastern province. Those employed here include brick producers and their staff and people who transport them. Although these producers have in their possession large stocks of bricks, they have been unable to sell them. Paying wages is another dilemma. People working in the industry here have also not been able to return to their homes.
About 2,000 people worked here, but now there is no one. We can only find work here if the people who left return. The people who left went home, but we are now stuck here with no work. No one even came to look into our problems. We are doing what we can here. It's very hard for us to live. We are working, but we don't get paid as the bricks cannot be sold. We are waiting and working until we get paid. We are feeding our families as best we can, at least a few meals a day. We did not receive any concessions from the government. No one came to look into our plight.
Their only request from the government is concessions to keep the industry afloat.
The human-elephant conflict in a number of villages in Panama, including the Hambegamu village, has taken a turn for the worse. Close to 1,000 families living in Hambegamu have been impacted by this.
Residents of the Hambegamuwa, Rathambalagama, Watamada, Degalara and Hambegamuwa villages under the purview of the Tanamalila Divisional Secretariat are living in fear due to the escalating human-elephant conflict in the region. According to our correspondent, about 3,000 people belonging to 1,000 families live in this area. Wild elephants of the Udawalawe National Park constantly encroach on these villages as the protective electric fence does not function properly. Wild elephants who crouched on the village during the past week alone had destroyed many houses in the area. Countless number of lives have been lost over the years. The wild elephants also take away the livelihood of the people when they destroy all of their crops. The animals that encroach on these villages destroy banana, vegetable and coconut plantation. Residents of these villages request officials to repair the electric fence bordering the village and to ensure that it would keep the wild elephants out.
The Civil Defense Department said the program to purchase fruits and vegetables from farmers will recommence on the 16th of April. Director General of the department, Rear Admiral Anand Piris, said this will be coordinated through district secretaries. The government's information department said the government purchased 900,000 kilograms of vegetables in total on the 11th and 12th of April. Meanwhile, we receive reports that vegetables are going to waste in Kantale owing to a failure on the party of the Kantale Pradesh Sabha to distribute them among the people.
According to area residents, the Kantale Pradesh Sabha had purchased vegetables worth 450,000 rupees from farmers in Dambulla. The vegetables were then stored at a town hall owned by the Kantale Pradesh Sabha. Why do they have to give us spoilt vegetables? They can distribute good vegetables among the people here. There are many poor people in this area. Vegetables that were packed in bags have also got spoilt. We can't bear the stench of the rotting vegetables. Among the rotten vegetables are pumpkin, cabbage, radish, beans, eggplant and tomatoes. We inquired on the matter from the chairman of the Kantale Pradesh Sabha and he said that he will hold discussions with the members of the council and provide a solution for it.
Let's now take a look at several police raids that were conducted island-wide.
Police arrested a suspect who illegally brewed alcohol in Walana Valigama. They also seized 75 alcohol bottles and equipment used by the suspect. The suspect is due to be produced to the Mathura magistrate today. The Kandy police arrested a person selling alcohol at high prices during the curfew period. 29 bottles of alcohol were seized. The suspect is due to be produced before the Kandy magistrate today. In a raid carried out by the police, a live grenade manufactured overseas, a small revolver, T-56 ammunition, 23 bullets of a T-56 rifle and 5 bullets of the firearm M16 used by the special forces were seized at a house in Lihinia Kaduwa, Dadigama. The police have also seized 9 litres of illicit alcohol and some other equipment.
Employees at the Mineri Ayurvedic Hospital have designed a disinfection chamber based on Ayurvedic practices.
The disinfection chambers were designed to disinfect patients who visit the Mineri Ayurvedic Hospital. The chamber operates in 2 stages and all functions are performed using Ayurvedic medicine. Meanwhile, police officers of Galevela launched a program to disinfect people visiting the police station. People are disinfected upon entry to the station and also when they leave. The items used for disinfection were donated by businessmen in the area. A group of regional engineers and doctors designed a ventilator for the Badula General Hospital. The designers of the ventilator said that it was constructed at a cost of 85,000 rupees and donated to the Badula General Hospital today.
Around 1.92 million people around the world have now been confirmed to have the new coronavirus. The World Health Organization is due to release its latest strategic advice on tackling the outbreak. It will include 6 criteria for lifting restrictions on movement.
Foreign media reported that China has approved early-stage human testing for 2 experimental vaccines to combat the new coronavirus. The vaccines are being developed by a Beijing-based unit of the Nasdaq-listed Sinovac Biotech and by the Wuhan Institute of Biological Products, an affiliate of state-owned China National Pharmaceutical Group. The number of total confirmed cases in China now stands at 82,249. Its death toll from the pandemic stands at 3,341, with no new deaths yesterday. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has claimed total power to lift the nationwide coronavirus lockdown, contradicting governors and constitutional scholars. 9 states on the U.S. East and West coasts are planning to lift strict stay-at-home orders. The White House has recommended Americans to avoid restaurants and non-essential travel and keep in-person gatherings to 10 people or less until the 30th of April. The U.S. has now recorded 587,155 coronavirus cases, with 23,644 fatalities reported. Austria is to reopen thousands of shops today as it seeks to ease restrictions brought in to stem the spread of the coronavirus. However, strict social distancing rules remain in place, with people urged to stay at home as much as possible. It comes as some other European countries ease restrictions imposed over the pandemic. Spain has allowed some citizens to return to work, and Denmark is reopening schools for younger children. Italy, Europe's hardest-hit country with more than 20,000 deaths, will allow a narrow range of firms to resume operations today. However, French President Emmanuel Macron has extended the lockdown there for another 4 weeks until the 11th of May. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation this morning. He said the nationwide lockdown will be extended until the 3rd of May. The decision was taken after consultation with states. He appealed to the people to keep following the measures. The Dharavi slum in India's Mumbai is feared to be India's largest ticking time bomb in the country's fight to contain the COVID-19 outbreak, with already 49 people from the slum infected and 5 among them dead as of yesterday. As confirmed cases continue to climb, authorities have ramped up measures to contain the spread. The Philippines has locked down its main island of Luzon, including the sprawling capital Manila, to try to curb the coronavirus outbreak that is now the largest in Southeast Asia. But for the country's poor, the lockdown has left them without food or an income and at risk of detention.
Reports from Ukraine say that forest fires that have been burning for several days in northern Ukraine are now no more than a few kilometers from the abandoned Chernobyl nuclear plant.
A local tour operator said that one of the fires has reached the abandoned town of Pripyat, which used to serve the plant. He said it is now just 2 kilometers from where the most dangerous waste from the plant was stored. Greenpeace said the fires were much bigger than the authorities realized. The NGO's Russia branch said the largest fire covered 34,000 hectares, while a second fire just a kilometer from the former plant was 12,000 hectares in area. Local police said the fire has been burning since the weekend of 4th April after a man set fire to dry dry grass near the exclusion zone. It has since moved closer to the nuclear plant. More than 300 firefighters with dozens of pieces of special hardware are reportedly working at the site, while 6 helicopters and planes are attempting to extinguish the fire from above. However, officials say radiation in the area is at normal levels.
Let's now take a look at some of the paintings Gammadda received under the initiative Gammadda Nagitimu Sri Lanka. The paintings that have depicted the painter's vision of a future Sri Lanka.
Nagitimu Sri Lanka.
On a similar note now, the Gammadda Rise Up Sri Lanka campaign has spread across social media, with Sri Lankans across the country continuing to share their video recordings with a message of hope for a rising nation. With taking a look at some of the latest videos shared today, we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News for today. I'm Tarsha Kumar Singha. Stay at your homes, stay safe and stay close to News First. Good afternoon.
Sri Lanka.
Time for rest, to hope and pray and heal our motherland.
We must unite and march ahead. Arise, Sri Lankans now. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka.
Gammadda Nagitimu Sri Lanka.